You're listening to Superpowers of the Soul on the Superpower Up Podcast, the show that elevates superpowers to the divine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Jennifer Urezzio, superpower expert and founder of Soul Language, and this is Superpowers of the Soul. And today I'm with Sally Saint, and we're talking about family relationships and learning disabilities. Welcome, Sally.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Jennifer.
I'm so excited. Today has been a vast interview of English ladies, so I'm very excited. I always like for people to really get to know our guests from the inside out. What do you consider a superpower of your soul for yourself? Like, I consider courage a superpower for me, and of course that extends out to my community. But what do you consider a superpower of your soul?
I think that ability to persevere, to get courage, I would definitely, but also that understanding of the big picture is what I would say the courage of the soul is for me.
Love that. And what do you consider your sacred purpose, what you're profoundly here to experience, and then offer that experience to others?
I believe and I feel very deeply that I've experienced many things in my life, and I've also learned how to transform them. So I feel very, very strongly that I am here to share with others so as they can learn the journey themselves, because we need tools and sometimes we need support. We do need support and advice from others. And someone who's already walked the path can really open the door for somebody else.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, might as well learn from somebody's mistakes, right? We're going to all make mistakes, but, if you could avoid potholes, why not? I think that's the greatest thing about living in community and living on this planet is that there's so many resources that we can tap into. Go ahead, Sally.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I would say as well, as adults, we sometimes see the word mistake as quite a loaded thing. But for a child, when they're learning to walk, they fall over, they get back up again. So they don't necessarily name it, but they've got that tenacity to keep on going. So we as adults sometimes think we can be afraid of making mistakes. But if we just see that they're a learning curve, then we can transform them better.
Understood. And I agree totally. In hand analysis, there's something called a life lesson. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that word. I like skill builder because it builds skills. And I think being off the mark or mistakes actually builds a lot of skills. So what has been a common theme that your soul has shared with you over your journey?
I feel that my soul has shown me and continues to show me that sensitivity is a gift. So in my life path, because there's been harsh things I've dealt with, the sensitivity sometimes felt as a hindrance because I was feeling so much. But actually, more and more I'm understanding that sensitivity is exactly what we as individuals need and what this world needs, because it's that connects us. It is that understanding that we are so much more than we perceive ourselves to be. And that's where sensitivity comes in, is that sensitivity to feel energy, to feel someone else's energy, to feel Mother Earth, to feel the energy of animals. Those are all where sensitivity supports us and guides us.
I love that. So how does your soul support others? What are some of the ways that tenacity and that sensitivity has made an impact on other people's lives?
I can feel their energy, and even if they are not aware, people will open up to me. So I am the kind of person that, and I'm sure you are as well, that when you're out and about in the supermarket, people will just tell you things. So as when you're actually working with someone, they know they can trust you. So there's this energy that comes from warmth and love and understanding that is there before we open our mouths. And so that means that people trust, they open up, and they trust me with their truths. And it is a blessing. And it's like half the work is already done when someone just trusts you. What comes afterwards can be the other half, but the most important is when someone feels your energy and knows that you come from the heart.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people come up to me in Russia and unveil their deepest secrets. And I was like, listen, I kind of know what you're saying because I can read your energy.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to offer you love because I mean, it's one of those things that people will constantly just come up to me and tell me their deep, darkest secrets because,
Absolutely.
you have, and I have that welcoming, that kind of sacred space energy that goes, okay, I can bare my soul and go on because I just need to sometimes to get it out. Before we do a break here, let everyone know how to get in touch with you, Sally.
Certainly. I've got a website, which is www.sallysaint.co.uk. On there are the links to my Facebook page, my email address. So that's the place to go, and then you can link with me.
Beautiful. So everyone stay tuned with me and Sally because we're going to talk about family relationship and learning disability.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Don Rekla, Executive Director of SuperPower Experts, and we want to thank each of you for making SuperPower Up the #1 podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. Because people like you have the courage to say that mindfulness, healthy living, disrupting reality, the pursuit of consciousness, responsible entrepreneurship, and radical parenting matter, we now amass over 1 million downloads monthly in more than 90 countries. Our numbers keep growing because there are far more people willing to live divergently than mass media wants to acknowledge. For you, the change makers, the light bearers, the way showers, we say thank you. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower quiz. And as Neva Lee Rekla, our youngest podcaster, likes to remind us, remember, we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Superpowers of the Soul. I'm Jennifer Urezzio, and I'm with Sally Saint, and we're talking about family relationships and learning disabilities. How does the way we learn impact our relationships now, Sally?
It affects our relationships if the people around us don't understand how we learn. So as adults, when we were children, we end up getting programmed by the people around us. We take on board the opinions of others. And so hence when people have children, if the children are not the ones that they expect them, it can be challenging for them to understand how to link with that child and see that child as an individual, and that child will learn in their own place and their own way. And it's a thing of letting go of the societal opinion of how a child learns. So in schools, there are systems, and if your child doesn't meet that system, this is when that bond with the child is so important, because you find that child's way for them and you help and support that child.
So in other words, a deeper bond it's an opportunity for a deeper bond to be created when a child has a challenge like that.
Absolutely. And it encourages us as well. I do feel strongly that children who have labels put on them then because they don't fit the societal norm, and I'm saying that very loosely, but they're actually our greatest teachers, because they mirror to us that being individual is exactly what we're meant to do. We're meant to be authentic. So they cannot fit in. So they are the ultimate reminders of, something, we're not meant to conform, we're just meant to be ourselves.
Beautiful. What would you share with a family that has a child who is not fitting into the norm?
First of all, I would say, if they have been diagnosed, is the diagnosis may be useful for accessing funds or various support, but ultimately, when you look at your child, see your child, not the label, and that is how you can work with them. Because we are amazing as human beings, but if we put something under the microscope, we can choose what we see. So we choose what we perceive. So see that child that you love, and you work with that child, and the child in front of you is amazing, and you are going to be taught so many things because you're going to see the world in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, if a family member, a mother or father or a caretaker has a child that doesn't fit into the norm, I would assume that a lot of feelings of not good enough in that family member are also being triggered. What do you suggest in regards to that experience?
I feel to that experience is you work through your emotions, because as you have learned, you don't deny how you're feeling. So you allow yourself to release. As the parent, you could even write down how it makes you feel. write down and burn it. But then, so is you're not taking those emotions and feelings and words of someone else on and making them your own. And in your home, that home is sacred, and that home is the one that your child is growing up in. So you can release the negative words of others, and you leave them at your front door. You don't bring them into your house.
So what you're really saying here is that conscious parenting, conscious relationships, as we know, really help anything. And when having a child who doesn't fit into the norms, then a parent or a guardian should really consider about turning towards more consciousness to move through this challenge.
Absolutely, because society and the systems around you will tell you your child has a problem. But if you make something a problem, it's very hard then to see the positive. So see it as your child has a gift, and your child came into this world with this gift. And so then you let that child show you the beauty that they see, because they see things differently. And it's one of the things that will heal and work with us so much, especially if you've felt quite restricted in your own life. So when you've got a child that won't fit into the system, it really will encourage you to expand and grow.
Love that. So as we're wrapping up our time together today, if there's one thing that you want our audience to remember from our conversation, what would that be?
No matter what's happening in life, everything will pass. So you do, and I deal with people who are in crisis. And when you've experienced crisis yourself, it can feel like the end of the world. But it will pass. You will be stronger. You will grow immensely. It will light you up in a way that when you're in the eye of the storm, you won't feel it. But beyond it, you'll understand you've been given gifts. It will pass. Whatever's going on in your life, it will pass.
Beautiful. Give out that website address for everyone again.
It's www.sallysaint.co.uk.
Beautiful. And my last question for you today, if you were a magnet on your, whatever you call your higher powers refrigerator, what would that magnet say?
It would say love, love, love. And I've done a painting of this with his hearts, the hearts that flow. And if we can just remind ourselves of that, it elevates us. It elevates the people around us. It reminds us of our truth. Love, love, love.
Beautiful. Well, I thank you so much for spending time with us today and helping get the word out that any disability is a great gift. So thank you so much.
And thank you for having me.
Everyone, if you liked anything that you heard today, you can contact me and all the other experts in the Superpower Net at superpowerexperts.com/the-net. I want to remind you not only just to find your connection, but be your connection.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower Quiz today.